everyone! Today we're continuing our stream in Roblox, playing Grow a Garden, because honestly, I just really love this game. It's so relaxing and fun to see everything grow. And I'm super excited to share it with you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the like. It really means a lot to me and helps the channel grow. While I'm tending my garden, you guys can help me out by leaving your thoughts, tips, or just random opinions in the comments. Let's grow this garden together. So here I am, just sitting here chewing gum. And you know, it's supposed to be mint flavor. But after a while, I start thinking that flavor itself is just an illusion, because a few minutes in, you're no longer chewing mint, you're chewing the memory of mint, like the ghost of flavor still haunting your taste buds. And that's basically life, right? At first, everything is fresh and exciting. Then it fades, and you're just going through the motions, pretending it's still new. And now I can't stop thinking, why do we even say thank you? It's like this magic spell that everybody understands. But has anyone actually tested if it works? What if we started saying banana with the same tone of voice? Would people still feel appreciated? I might try that one day. And here's another thing. Light bulbs. Nobody respects them. We just screw them in, use them every day like little sons we've domesticated, and then we throw them away without even saying goodbye. They've been giving us light, working overtime, and we just replace them without a second thought. That's cold. Also, I've noticed something. When you eat crispy snacks, like croutons or crackers, they always somehow choose the wrong throat pipe. Like the one that makes you cough violently instead of the one that sends food where it's supposed to go. I swear the throat has a sense of humor. Like, oh, you wanted to just enjoy your snack. Nope, cough party time. Speaking of weird body stuff. Pillows are probably portals to parallel worlds, but we're always too sleepy to notice when we fall through. And if cats could talk, I'm convinced they'd spend 90% of their time criticizing us, like a toxic chat in a live stream. But we'd still love them because they're fluffy little overlords. And seriously, can someone explain why there's always something in the fridge that's been there for way too long? You know you're never going to eat it, but you keep it anyway, just in case. I think it's some sort of survival instinct. Like, our brains still think we might need that 2-week-old pasta someday if society collapses. Oh, and hey, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, come on, what are you doing? Subscribe right now. We've got a goal, 1,000 subscribers. Imagine that, the first hamster streamer in history to chew gum, speak complete nonsense, and still build a mighty army of viewers. That's historic. Like, historians will write books about it. And don't forget to hit that like button, because likes are literally the caffeine for this channel. Every like is like giving me an extra battery pack. And drop a comment too. Comments are like warm blankets for creators. You can even comment banana. I won't judge. In fact, that might become our secret community code word. Speaking of bananas, did you know they're technically berries? But we treat them like fruits. And what if we sliced them like potato chips and sold them in bags at movie theaters? The world would be way more interesting. And now I'm thinking in my head, there's probably a tiny movie director making a very low budget, extremely weird film with zero plot, but an amazing soundtrack, and I never know what the next scene will be. Maybe that's why streaming feels so natural for me. I'm just broadcasting the director's cut of my brain. And that's exactly why you need to subscribe, because this is just the beginning. Things are going to get even stranger in the next part, and who knows, maybe we'll finally answer the big questions, like why nobody has ever seen their neighbor's doormat drying in the sun, even though it must get wet sometimes. Or maybe we'll find out if clouds ever get bored of being clouds. Yeah, this is only getting started. And now my brain just threw me this thought. If clouds were people, they'd probably spend most of their time arguing about who's fluffier. And the storm clouds would be like the grumpy old uncles of the sky. Which also makes me wonder if the sky had a pocket, what would it keep in there? Probably spare rain, a couple of rainbows, and maybe one or two UFOs it doesn't want us to see yet. I mean, imagine if UFOs aren't from space. They're just sky pets that sometimes escape. And speaking of escaping, I once thought about how socks disappear in the washing machine. Everyone says there's some black hole in the washer, but what if socks aren't lost? They're recruited. Like, maybe they get drafted into some secret sock army that protects the world from cold floors. That would explain why you never get them back. They're out there on a mission. Also, do you ever notice that when you drop something behind the couch, it's basically gone forever? Like it doesn't just fall. It gets teleported to the land of lost remotes, pens, and phone chargers. I'm telling you, our houses have little wormholes, and we just ignore them because we don't want to deal with the existential crisis of knowing our furniture is hiding another dimension. And if you think about it, chairs are like loyal pets. They just wait for you all day, holding the exact shape you left them in, and they never complain. Unless they're the squeaky ones, then they're basically gossiping every time you sit down. And quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. I'm telling you, we are on a mission here. 1,000 subscribers. We're not just growing a channel, we're building an empire of nonsense powered entirely by hamster brain energy. Every sub, every like, every comment. That's fuel. Without you guys, it's just me talking to myself, which I'd probably still do. But it's way more fun when you're part of it. So, yeah, hit the sub button, hit the like, and tell me something completely random in the comments. Maybe the weirdest thought you've had today. By the way, have you ever wondered if trees get jealous of buildings? Like, wow, nice bricks, dude, I just have bark. Or maybe it's the other way around. And buildings are like, man, I wish I could grow my own leaves. That'd be wild. Skyscrapers growing autumn colors. And here's another brain nugget. If fish could scream, would we still go fishing? Probably not. Or maybe we'd just give them little microphones and turn it into a reality show. And don't get me started on bread. Bread is basically a sponge that survived the oven. Think about it. I also believe that somewhere out there's a potato with your exact face. You'll never meet it, but it exists. And maybe when you finally do, that's the end game of life. Like, congratulations, you met your potato twin. Credits roll. But until that happens, we've got more weirdness to explore together. Because trust me, this is just the warm-up. The next part, we're going even deeper into the hamster mind labyrinth. So now I'm picturing the potato with my face, and I can't decide if that's cute or terrifying. Like, would it be smiling back at me, or just silently judging me for eating fries last week? And honestly, potatoes have a way better life than we think. You can be boiled, baked, fried, mashed. That's basically the potato version of having multiple career options. Meanwhile, carrots are just like, I'm orange, that's all I got. And that got me thinking, what if vegetables had their own social media? Broccoli would be the health influencer. Tomatoes would constantly argue if they're fruit or vegetable. And lettuce would just post selfies in salads. And speaking of social media, I sometimes wonder if the internet itself ever gets tired of us. Like, maybe somewhere deep inside the servers, there's a little AI just sighing every time we Google how to boil water. And every meme you see, maybe they're not created. Maybe memes just exist in the digital wild, waiting for someone to find them, like stray cats on the internet. Which makes me think, the internet and outer space are basically the same, infinite, full of weird stuff, and nobody really knows what's at the edge. Also, why does nobody talk about the fact that stairs are just aggressive floors? Like, the floor could be calm and horizontal, but no, It's gotta be extra and go up and down like it owns the place. And escalators are just stairs that decided to get lazy and automate themselves. But I'm not complaining. I respect escalators. They carry you like royalty, Dotto. And while we're on royalty, if pigeons wore little crowns, the whole vibe of cities would change. You'd see them walking around like they own the streets. And honestly, they kind of already do. Pigeons are like the unofficial landlords of public squares. They just stand there staring at you like you owe them rent. And now, real quick, if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you even doing? We're on this epic journey to 1,000 subscribers, and every time you hit that sub button, somewhere in the world a hamster gets a brand new chew toy. True fact. And likes are basically high fives for the channel. You don't want to leave me hanging without a high five, right? Drop a comment too. I want to know your weirdest random thought today. Bonus points if it makes absolutely no sense. Back to the nonsense. Sometimes I wonder if mirrors ever get bored of seeing the same faces over and over. Like, imagine being a bathroom mirror. You've been staring at the same people for years. You know all their expressions. You've seen them sing off-key while brushing their teeth, and you can't even tell anyone about it. That's tragic. And here's the thing. Water probably has a secret life too. You ever notice how it never looks the same twice? 1 second it's calm, next second it's chaotic. Maybe it's just moody. And while we're here, do clouds have favorite shapes? Like, oh, today I'm gonna be a dragon, or nah, I feel like being a half-eaten sandwich. And what if rain isn't actually water from the sky, but the clouds just sweating because the sun makes them nervous? That would explain why summer storms feel awkward. And you know what? I'm gonna stop right here before my brain decides to start questioning whether chairs dream when nobody's sitting on them, because that's definitely a topic for the next part. So here's the thing. I really think chairs might dream when nobody's sitting on them. Maybe they dream of being fancy thrones in a castle, or beach chairs on a sunny tropical island. Or maybe they just have nightmares about being stacked in a storage room forever. And speaking of furniture, have you noticed how tables never get enough credit? Everyone focuses on what's on the table, but the table itself is literally carrying the weight of the party. We should thank tables more often. And if spoons could talk, they'd probably brag about being the most versatile utensil. Like, yeah, forks stab, knives cut, but I can hold soup. Beat that. Also, I had this thought the other day. If you could hear plants growing, would it be relaxing or terrifying? Imagine you're lying in bed at night and you just hear grass stretching, leaves rustling, roots slowly cracking, the soil peaceful, until you remember your house plants are right behind you, silently plotting. And if you think that's creepy, think about the fact that the moon has been watching Earth for billions of years. It's basically the ultimate stalker. It knows everything. Somewhere, there's probably a moon diary full of embarrassing human moments, like the time you tripped over nothing in public. And oh, I gotta bring this up. You ever notice that every time you wash your hands, the water somehow splashes in exactly the wrong direction? Like it has a personal vendetta against your shirt? It's like, yeah, clean your hands, but I'm taking your sleeves with me. Water's a prankster, I'm telling you. And ice is just water trying cosplay as a rock. By the way, if you're still here and haven't hit subscribe, come on. We're building the most elite squad of nonsense lovers on the internet. Our mission is still 1,000 subscribers. But you know what? I think we can smash past that. Likes keep the hamster wheel spinning, and comments are where the real chaos happens. I want to see your weirdest thought right now. Doesn't matter if it's about ducks, socks, or galaxies made of cheese. I'm reading all of them. Now, let me just drop another mental glitch on you. What if the sound of typing is actually Morse code for something we don't understand? Like, every time you send a text, keyboards are secretly talking to each other in a whole other language. And don't even get me started on why keyboards still have a scroll lock button. Nobody uses it. Nobody knows why it's there. It's like the appendix of computers, maybe important ones. Now just hanging out doing nothing. And here's one more. When you put your hood up, do you ever feel like you just activated stealth mode? Like suddenly you're invisible, even though everyone can still see you. I think that's the same logic cats use when they hide their faces under a blanket. If I can't see them, they can't see me. Anyway, I've got about 50 more brain worms crawling around in here. But I'm saving those for the next part, because trust me, we're about to get into whether shadows are actually just flat pets that follow us around. So, I've been thinking, what if shadows are just flat pets? Like, they're alive, they follow you everywhere, they mimic everything you do, and they never ask for food or water. And maybe that's why they stretch and shrink. They're just trying to get comfortable. But here's the creepy part. What if shadows remember everything you've ever done? Imagine meeting your shadow in another dimension, and it's like, yeah, I've been with you since day one. I know everything. Suddenly you'd be apologizing for all the weird dances you did alone in your room. And speaking of following, isn't it weird that your reflection is technically your second shadow, but it's made of light instead of darkness? That means we've got at least 2 stalkers at all times, the dark one and the shiny one. And you know what else blows my hamster mind? Every single sock you've ever lost is probably hanging out in some secret interdimensional sock lounge. They're there, sipping tiny cups of tea, laughing at us while wearing sunglasses, living their best sock lives. And somewhere in that lounge is also every pen cap you've ever lost, every hair tie, and that one Lego piece you swore you'd find again. Oh, and quick pause. If you're watching this and you still haven't subscribed, do it now. Not because I told you to, but because if you don't, there's a 72% chance your shadow pet will get jealous and knock over your favorite mug in the middle of the night. True story. And hit that like button. Each like adds 1 extra pixel of power to my hamster brain. And comments, that's where the magic happens. Tell me your most cursed or random thought. Bonus points if it's something that makes no sense, but still feels true. Anyway, here's another brain loop. Time zones are basically just Earth's way of trolling us. Like, somewhere right now it's 7 a.m., somewhere else it's 3 a.m., and somewhere in between it's I have no idea what time it is, but I'm still awake watching a hamster talk nonsense on Roblox. And it's not just time zones, even maps are lying to us. You think you know how big countries are. Nope, the maps stretch them like pizza dough.o. And here's a theory. Maybe the reason we can't tickle ourselves is because our shadows are blocking the signal. They're like, nah, you don't get to have that much fun alone. And maybe that's why cats can jump randomly for no reason. Their shadow pets are just playing pranks on them. Also, do you ever notice that when you open a bag of chips, the air inside smells like a different dimension? Like, no matter what flavor it is, there's always that initial chip air smell that doesn't exist anywhere else in the universe. I'm convinced that's the smell of a parallel reality where everything is made of snacks. And okay, before my brain spirals into explaining why I think spoons secretly judge us when we use them to eat real instead of soup, I'm gonna save that for the next part, because trust me, we are just scratching the surface of this hamster nonsense multiverse. So here's the thing. I'm convinced spoons judge us. Like, they were designed for soups and stews, majestic liquid carriers, and then we hand them a bowl of sugary cereal like, here, deal with this. And the spoon is just silently screaming, I was made for elegance, not cornflakes. Meanwhile, forks are just chaotic energy. They'll stab pasta, salad, cake, whatever you throw at them, no questions asked. And knives. Knives are like the serious older sibling who doesn't join in on the fun, but makes sure the job gets done. But sporks are the weird cousins who show up at family gatherings uninvited, and somehow everyone just accepts them. Now, here's something that's been stuck in my head. If your phone could talk, would you still carry it everywhere? Imagine the conversations. Hey, I saw you Google that thing at 3 a.m. What's wrong with you? Or stop dropping me. I'm literally your lifeline. And don't even get me started on search histories. Phones know too much. Somewhere deep inside, they're like digital vaults full of your most random brain moments. From how to fold a fitted sheet to can pigeons eat spaghetti. And speaking of pigeons, I think they're low-key spies. They're always watching, walking in slow motion like they're undercover agents. You think they're looking for crumbs, but maybe they're reporting back to some giant pigeon council in the clouds. And maybe, just maybe, that's why you never see baby pigeons. They don't exist in public. They're raised in top secret sky bunkers. All right, before I get carried away, which, let's be honest, I already have, I need to remind you, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your sign. We're not just building a channel, we're building the weirdest digital hamster cult in the history of Roblox streaming. Our sacred goal, 1,000 subscribers. Every sub is a new brick in our nonsense fortress. Likes, that's the electricity. Comments, that's the graffiti on the walls. I want you in this chaos. Drop the weirdest, most cursed, most random thought you've had today in the comments. And let's see which one makes my hamster brain short-circuit. Anyway, here's another thought bomb for you. What if refrigerators are secretly time machines? But they only work for food. You put in fresh milk, come back later, and boom, you're in a future where it's expired. Or Alright everyone, that's it for today's stream in Grow a Garden. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while we tended the garden, chewed some gum, and shared a bunch of nonsense. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a like. It really helps me out and keeps the chaos going. And if you have any thoughts, tips, or just random ideas, drop them in the comments because I love reading what you guys think. Can't wait to see you all in the next stream. We'll keep growing the garden and making it even crazier together.